Welcome into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. Casey Phillips here with safety Mike, Mr. Pick Six Edwards. That's what we're changing the official legal name to. Does that sound good?
It sounds great.
Yeah, I figured you'd enjoy that. So I know the game overall, not the outcome you guys were hoping for. What would you say is your biggest takeaway of this game? And I know you're probably going to speak mainly to yourself and the defense, but what were some of the biggest takeaways and the messages in the locker room, what people are saying now following that?
Toward the Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, we started out slow. The past 3 games we done gave up 3 points first game, 3 points against New Orleans, and then we let up a touchdown this game. And man, it's like we always harp on starting fast, and that's why we want the defense to come out there first to start fast, and then get offense out there and let them score. But man, it's like we gotta just start out more faster and start out better. But I feel like this game we just gotta I don't know. I don't know. Like the second quarter, we started getting rolling and everything, and then second half, I feel like we finally found where we was at, and I had to take on that. And after that, I felt pretty good. I know we didn't give up a touchdown, give up any points until after that first quarter. So we did our thing there, but definitely got to start out more faster.
Yeah, it's so interesting, especially that the second half, you started with 2 3-and-outs and an interception. I mean, could you tell then what feels different for you guys when it was such a dramatic shift of those first couple drives, and then even like you said, Dallas and New Orleans, the first drive, it felt like they were able to put together some stuff on you guys, some runs and whatever, and then what felt different this game after those first couple drives?
I mean, we just had to, we had a group, talking to everybody, and we kind of just came together as defense and told us, that's not our defense. We're a better defense now. Put the best defense in the league. And after those 2 drives, we had that fumble that we recovered, which is big when it was in the red zone, and that got us going. And then we had to up our offense out, and we had to make some plays. We had to create some turnovers. Get out the field on third down. At the beginning of the game, we couldn't get out the field on third down, which was big, especially going against a guy like Aaron Rodgers. So it was a big game for us. They did a lot of things well on their side of the ball, but definitely capitalized. I feel like we did a pretty good job in the second half.
Yeah, they started out 5 of 5 on third down conversions, but then went 0 for 7 the next. I mean, again, there just are so many stats that there's always that phrase, a tale of 2 halves, or it felt like 2 different games almost out there. What were they doing so well on third down early on, or maybe what were you guys not executing? Which one did it feel like more of? Was it what they were doing well? Was it you guys not doing what you hold yourselves to?
I can say a little bit of both. Aaron was trying to get the ball out kind of quick, not letting us let the blitz get to him, kind of knowing where his outlets are and just getting it to him. And I couldn't really say on our side of the ball. You got the field. They ran a lot of slants, a lot of quick game, like I said. But we started catching on to it, started making adjustments, and started playing different calls later in the game. And like you said, I didn't know we was over 7 and 3 third down after that, but that's big. We got to start like that. Third down is a big down for us. Got to get out the field. Got to get our offense back on the field, and just keep playing. So
yeah, I mean, if you can hold a guy like Aaron Rodgers to that kind of stretch, that's got to give you some confidence even of what you guys are capable of doing. And you talked about how quickly he was getting the ball out of his hands. He early in the fourth quarter at one point, to the entire game up to that point, his average depth of target was just 2.9 yards, and 45% of his throws were either at or behind the line of scrimmage. What is the challenge for you guys as a defense when that's what the offense is doing, and maybe even specifically for you at your position? What does that do, and how does that change the game plan of what you guys are trying to accomplish?
Don't really change. I mean, we try to stop the explosive play, so nothing over our heads. And if they do, throw the ball, kind of short, like you said, beyond the line of scrimmage or whatever. But you got to tackle. I mean, you got to rally and tackle. We had all 11 guys to the ball, and that's how you make plays. That's how you stop them. Because, like you said, if they throwing the ball to on the line of scrimmage, I mean, they shouldn't get that many yards as long as you tackling everybody swarming to the ball. So that's what we had to do.
What are the hardest parts about facing a guy like Aaron Rodgers, which you've now done multiple times? And overall, you guys have done an incredible job against him, either on the win-loss side of the previous matchups, or at least this time even not coming out on the right side. You guys put together a heck of a defensive effort against him, and I think most people would be thrilled to hold an Aaron Rodgers-led offense to 14 points. So what is the biggest challenge of facing him, and then why do you guys think you have been able to be better against him than a lot of teams are?
It's a big challenge playing against him. He's a very smart quarterback, very skillful quarterback. He can, throw cross body, throw 60 yards down the field off his back foot. It's crazy what he can do. It's a lot of quarterbacks I try to bait, and he it was a play where he threw to Randall Cobb, Kentucky guy. But he threw to him, can't remember what quarter it was, but he was kind of like pumping the ball, and I kind of like I wasn't even looking at it. I was kind of looking at the quarterback and trying to break on it. And most quarterbacks has a pick from me, and it was like he just zipped it right behind Devin and right in front of me. It was like, damn, that's a great throw. I just got to give it to him. But things like that is just stuff you can't teach, and a lot of quarterbacks is not doing that. But I feel like we do a pretty good job against him. Like you said, we try to stop the explosive plays from him because we know what kind of quarterback he is, we know what kind of arm he got. So not letting the ball go over our heads, and like I said, swim to the football. So I feel like that's what we've been doing that most defenses haven't been able to do against him. Because like I said, he's a phenomenal player. He got some good guys on his side of the field. Got two great backs, some receivers that come to play. So I feel like we just come together as defense and try to stop the explosive plays.
We're talking to safety Mike Edwards, and you talked about your strategy of maybe trying to break on the ball and reading the quarterback. How different is the way you try to play depending on who the quarterback is? That in situations like that where you know that something that could work against one guy isn't going to work against another, how much is it, no, this is who I am, this is how I play, versus, you know what, I don't know that I can get away with that on this particular quarterback?
Yeah, it's come from watching film, just reading the scout report, reading their tendencies. Like I said, I knew what type of player Aaron Rodgers was. I just thought I could, maybe get a little jump on it. But yeah, like I said, it was a great play. But certain quarterbacks you can. Like I said, you gotta watch film and see what other quarterbacks can do and what they can't do. But yeah, it's tough.
And for you guys as a defense, I know that you brought up the importance of that forced fumble. Tell me a little bit about that. First of all, that's Vita's first career forced fumble.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
And he seemed pretty fired up about it.
Yeah.
So take us through that. Him forcing that fumble, Logan Ryan recovering it. Tell us just about that play and what you think worked well for you guys.
It was a great play. They was driving. They was inside the 10, I believe. And they was in scoring position, so that's a big stop. I didn't even know it was Vita at first when he called the fumble. I just seen Vontae kind of tackling him, and I see the ball come out. But that was huge. I mean, they could have went up 21. They could have had 21 points at that point. But that's a huge part in the game. Vita, the first time I seen it was actually on like Instagram or something. I didn't even know it was him. But that's a big play by Vita, and good job by Logan. He kind of took my ball, but that's all right. It's all right. Like, girl, somebody got it.
Yeah. Do you guys? I feel like there was also the when Antoine got an interception, it looked like if he hadn't been there, Carlton would have gotten it. Is that something that you guys tend to get a little mad about as a defense?
Yeah, we
like,
let each other know. We let each other know. Yeah.
Like you owe me one kind of now.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Definitely.
How about and then Logan Ryan, same thing, also got his first interception as a Buccaneer. Tell us about that play and then just what he has brought to this defense and to your room.
Oh, he brought a lot of experience to us, a lot of playmaking abilities. He can do a lot of things. He's been in the league for 10 plus years. I mean, even him being here for his first year, we've been here for 4 years with the coach staff and everything, with the whole learning defense, and he called defense really well, really quick, and he shows us things that we didn't even know. Like he'd call out one thing, be like, they run this, or look out for this or whatever, and it helps us out a lot. And him making that interception was huge. I mean, that's a huge turning point in the game. We needed that. I mean, made a huge play last week, punching the ball out, getting a fumble. So he just make plays. I told him after that pick, I said, yeah, man, that's why we brought you here. Like, you a dog, and we need that. So he brings a lot of, like I said, playmaking abilities, a lot of leadership, a lot of experience out there. So definitely good having him on our side.
And I know that you guys as a safety unit, you get asked to do a lot in this defense. What would you say is the most important skill as a safety in Todd Bowles' defense?
Most important skill?
What does it take to be a successful safety in his scheme?
You got to be cerebral. You definitely got to be cerebral. You got to learn defense in and out. You got to communicate. He always harps on communicating to everybody on defense and just being cerebral. You got to know, like I said, the defense inside and out. You got to know when you blitz him, when you're not. You got to learn. You got to know what the backers is doing. You got to know what the corners is doing. You got to know what the other safety is doing. So it's kind of like you got to really be smart and cerebral. So I'd say that's probably the toughest challenge.
I know that Logan Hall got his first career sack as well. Guy having to step in knowing that Akeem Hicks was going to miss some time, and that's some literal and figurative big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So what have you seen from the rookie and what you feel like helped you guys be in a position to see him get a big play like that? What have you seen as where he was able to get himself ready in a big moment like that?
Yeah, I feel like he's improving every game. This game was kind of his coming out, making big plays, and like you said, he got his first sack. He played really well, rushing the passer, getting in this gap and defending the run. I just feel like he did pretty good this game, and he's only going to get better. I feel like he's got a lot of potential and can do a lot of things, so ready to see what he can do.
All right, we have plenty more coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. I'm joined by safety Mike Edwards and continuing to talk about that first home game this season. And they actually announced the attendance as 69,197, which is the largest ever crowd for a Bucs game, thanks to all those new seats that they have added in the Crow's Nest this year. Could you feel the difference? Could you feel the atmosphere? And especially, I'm sure, after being on the road for a couple games, it must have just been like this breath of fresh air to have the crowd behind you guys in that kind of way. So tell me what it felt like, and did you notice how different it felt?
Yeah, I did. Felt kind of like a playoff game. I mean, Green Bay had some fans there too, but I mean, it was so loud. I mean, it was ridiculous, and I feel like every play, especially in the crunch time, late in the fourth quarter, you definitely feel the environment, feel the atmosphere. It's just shaking. It just feels so good. Yeah, I didn't know that was the largest crowd we ever had until they said it, but you definitely could feel it.
And for you, what was it like to watch that last drive unfold by the offense and to make those moves down there to put the team in a position to tie it and send it into overtime? What is it like to be just on the sideline for moments like that, have no control over what's happening, and just be watching as something that stressful is unfolding?
Yeah, it is stressful. I mean, it's tough because you're on the other side of the ball, but you got Tom Brady. So we try to say, we got to get this stop. If we get this stop, we know Tom, drive down and, do his thing. So which he did. It's tough not getting a two-point conversion, but just watching the whole drive unfold and him driving down the field and running that 2-minute drill, I mean, it's special. I mean, he can do a lot of things, and that's what he's been doing for a lot of years. So definitely it is stressful watching it on the other side, on the sideline, but once you got Tom on the side, it's kind of, take that little stress off of you. And
I'm sure it does motivate you guys on defense in that sense of knowing that, if we just do our part, we have confidence in him to be able to do his, that I imagine that's got to be a nice feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
And Russell Gage, huge part of that drive, and a guy that's new to the team this year. What did you see of why he was the guy on that last drive? What is it about him that you think enabled him when the offense is missing a lot of pieces? And why he was the guy that you could tell Tom thought, this is the guy that can make the plays necessary in this crucial moment?
Yeah, I mean, what we saw from in Atlanta, I mean, he can make plays. That's why we brought him here, paid him that money. And I mean, it felt like you could trust him a lot. Tom could trust him, and a guy to can get open pretty well, especially when the defense is sitting back like that, not trying to give up big plays in that 2 minute. So he kind of just running his routes and getting open. I feel like Tom trusts him a lot as far as like being able to catch the ball, getting open, and just trying to get first downs and creating positive yardage for that 2 minute drill.
And Cole Beasley, brand new addition to the team. What was it like to watch him try to get ready in just a few days to play? I mean, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I know it is, especially playing receiver with this offense. I know it got to be tough. Coming in a few days, like you said, he came in and did his thing. I mean, you can't expect a lot from a guy that's coming in from a few days off the streets. Whatever he was doing, but I mean, it was big. He made some good catches that we had. And I mean, like you said, we was limited on receivers, so he stepped in and made some few plays that we needed.
What have you seen of what makes him successful? That whether it was going against him on other teams or watching him, and then now just these few days of being around him, what would you say are his biggest skills?
He's a competitor. He could do it. Like I said, he's one of the other guys that can get open in the slot, run a lot of option routes, quick slants, outs, whatever. I was watching him over the years. I was watching him on TV, watching film against him. He does a lot of things. Like I said, him in the slot, he runs the slot pretty well. Watching when he was with Buffalo, he did great things with them. So I feel like he's just like a great option receiver. Can get open and got great hands.
And just another guy that's had to step up in the wake of losing so many guys is Brashad Perriman. We know he got that important touchdown against the Saints. And what is it that has made him? I know that when he made the 53, after there's such a crowded wide receiver room, that some people were wondering why him? What was the thing that put him above all the other incredibly talented people that were vying for some of those spots? So having watched him so much in practice and now in games as well, what is the thing that sets him apart that made him force the Bucs to keep him on that 53?
I mean, he has great speed. His hands just getting very good. He can play special teams. He can do a lot of things. He had that big game against Buffalo last year, that walk-off win. Then he had that touchdown against New Orleans. So things like that, you can count on BP to make plays like that. Like you said, we had a lot of receivers go down, so he stepped up and made some big plays, which we needed him to do and which we expect him to do. So we expect him to make those plays, and that's why they brought him in again. So to the 53. Yeah.
So we're talking to safety Mike Edwards, and now I want to talk a little bit more about Coach Bowles' defense and what you guys get to do in it. It feels kind of like it is a playground for DBs, for you guys to get to just do so many different things and always mix it up. And I imagine that it has to be one of the most fun schemes to play in as a DB. Is that fair? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, he trying to. We play so many different positions. Like you play safety, but you really playing you play linebacker, you play corner, you play whatever. But it's like we all over the field, and it's hard. It makes the offense have to think a lot. It makes it hard for the offense because you don't really know who's blitzing, you don't know who's in coverage. Trying to work on our disguise and things like that. So we got a lot of DBs that can do a lot of things. So it's good for our side.
I saw 2 different plays where the Packers were forced to take a timeout because they seemed so confused by the way you guys were presenting. Can you take us through those couple plays and what you think it was that you guys were able to do to make even a guy like Aaron Rodgers go, whoa, wait a minute?
I feel like he try to read the safeties, try to read, like 2 high safety, 1 high safety, or if we're in man, or if we're in zone. And that's kind of how he picks apart the defense and kind of runs the offense. And start later in the game, I feel like we kind of picked up on the skies and then showing around different looks and things like that. And I seen how they kind of how he kind of was like,
wait a minute,
yeah,
that's not allowed.
I was like, yeah. So we definitely messed him up on that.
That's great. That's got to be so fun to be a part of. And what is the difference in it being confusing for the offense, but not for you guys? How would you say Bowles has made that happen where you can be very confident in what you guys are doing, even when you're asked to do a lot, but it can cause a lot of confusion to the other side?
Yeah, I mean, it comes with repetition, just in practice, just knowing where other guys is, knowing what you gotta have to be at, and we just run a lot of plays, got a lot of defense that we got in, with Bowles' scheme, he throws in a lot of stuff. But like I said, we got to be cerebral, so we got to do a lot of things, and got to pick on things fast. And if you could do things like that, it's a tough job for the offense.
I noticed during this game, you and Carlton and Jamel, I believe, all got tackles for loss behind the line of scrimmage against some running backs. So there's one thing for when we've seen that Bowles likes to blitz a lot of different people, but then also for that many DBs to be getting in there for a tackle for loss on running back. Why does this defense set you guys up for that, and maybe even why that game so many of you guys were able to produce those kind of stats?
Yeah, we knew they want to run outside, perimeter running, hand sweeps, pitches, whatever it may be. But so they go to force the DBs to tackle, which he did. We had to take on that task to try to tackle. And the corners, corners don't really get that much credit for tackling. They normally get credit for like covering and things like that. But our corners, they tackle.
Yeah.
They Bowles gonna make sure they can tackle.
It's not an option.
No, it's not an option for us. But they did a great job. Melvin, Dean.
Please explain why you call him Melvin, because everyone's out there is like, I did not know we had a Melvin on this roster. Jamel Dean is Melvin. Tell me why.
I give nicknames to like a lot of people, but I don't know. I know a lot of people call him like, I don't know, they give him some names, whatever, but I just call him Melvin. It's like Jamel, so I call him Melvin. Yeah.
Is this because I feel like Melvin is like an old man name? Was this part of it? Was this the goal?
Something like that. He is like a little old man. He walk around with his stiff knees and all that. Like, he is old man.
Amazing. So what were you saying about Melvin or Jamel Dean, as we'd like to say?
Hey, what was I saying?
we got sidetracked. The tackling. The tackling.
Yeah, he had a great tackle on A.J. Dillon. A.J. is one of the biggest backs in the league. He came up and, stoned him. Came up, went up high with him and stoned him. That's a great tackle. And then, CD, he always throws his body in there. CD is just a maniac. He throws his body in there and just go crazy. So, you got to like the tackle with our defense. You got to learn how to tackle. You got to like the tackle. So we could do that.
But, man, it also is, as we've seen from you, sets you up not just for tackling but for some interceptions. So explain to me why you always have the ball in your hands, and especially per rep. I mean, before this year, you were not considered the starter, and you were not getting the same number of reps out there as a guy like Antoine maybe. And so I cannot imagine there were many people in the history of the NFL, I feel like, with more interceptions per minute spent on the field than you. Yeah. So tell me, explain, give your secret of why you somehow have this magnet to the football.
I don't know. I mean, some people would be saying it's like luck or something, but
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
those haters.
It's crazy. But I really just try to trust my instincts and try to go after the ball. A lot of people just try to, not read the quarterback or, try to make the PBU or something. I always try to go for the ball. So I kind of just trust my instincts and try to get a step ahead on the quarterback. Trying to read, things I have coming, like routes have coming to me, and see where I can, bait a little bit or see where I can break on the ball faster than I normally can. So I don't know. Just try to, like I said, try to trust my instincts, trust my ball playmaking skills, and just try to find the ball, track the ball.
Now, I know that pick sixes have also been an impressive thing for you, that you had 3 in under a year. But Coach Bowles, there's a chance in our most recent show with him.
Oh, I already know he was talking stuff.
Yeah, always. He always is. He did point out that you almost got caught by an offensive lineman.
Hey, they don't understand. He had an angle. Like, he was already like, 30-something yards behind me, and he had an angle, so it's like, yeah, he probably would get a little close to me, but he's not going to catch me.
Okay, so all right. I just had to clear that up, And as, of course, you pointed out that you were not surprised that Coach Bowles would be talking some trash towards you. How often do you feel like you are the recipient of his trash-talking sarcasm that has become legend already, even though he's only been a head coach for 3 games?
Yeah, he always talking stuff to me. I don't know what it is. I feel like everybody tries to talk stuff to me. I don't know what it is, but Bowles definitely he is. He get on Dean a lot too, but
Yeah, it feels like that you and Jamel Dean are the most common recipients. Is that true?
I mean, Melvin is like he just picks on him just for like anything, literally anything. But me, it's just like just certain stuff, like you said, like the lineman. He always talks about my school, Kentucky, saying that they're not, whatever.
Wow.
But
Low blow.
Yeah, but it's like just taking on the chin, like it's Bowles. You gotta let it go.
I feel like it's not even just Bowles. I feel like somehow you're always the butt of the sarcasm and jokes from the whole defense. That we put the camp cam up there where there's the GoPro and players will come give their answers, and we always joke that we know if it's something that requires making fun of teammates. That it will be you, that people will answer you regardless of whether or not it's true. It's always, oh, Mike Edwards. Whenever it's anything even remotely mocking. What led to this? And
I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't do nothing. Like, I literally just be chilling. I don't do nothing. And then they just poke fun at me, whatever. Always saying Fat Mike or whatever. It's like, it's all good.
Yeah, and then you just go get a pick six on them.
Yeah, so they can't really say nothing.
That's what it is.
They really can't
is
say
it because
nothing.
I feel like you're always just smiling and like laughing about it? Is it the fact that, do you feel like you need to start giving it back? Is that the problem?
Oh, I give it back.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Don't worry about it. Like, I give
Oh,
it back.
okay. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
you're
They know
good.
not to take it too far, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But it's
okay.
like,
They can poke a little, but we don't
Yeah.
want to poke the bear too much.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. Well, we have plenty more coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest with safety Mike Edwards, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest. I am joined by safety Mike Edwards. So we talked a little bit before the break about Bowles' legendary trash talk, but how about him as a head coach now that he's been your coordinator and you've gotten to see him in that role and then he gets to transition into head coach? What's that been like to watch, and what do you enjoy about him as a head coach?
I mean, we got a defensive coach now. I mean, he's not nothing different. I mean, he's kind of, the same guy, same Bowles. He's just, now he's just a head man. So it's not really different, but just seeing him up there and seeing him be the head man is just like, all right, we got to play for him now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we got a defensive coach now, and we're doing a great job, phenomenal job to step in, and maybe 2-on-1. I mean, last game was crazy, but he's doing a great job, phenomenal job, and just got to keep playing for him.
You said that like with some pride about we have a defensive coach now, and I feel like I hear this from a lot of defensive guys where you've seen the trend in the league where offensive coaches have gotten considered a lot for head coaching roles, and that a lot of times defensive coaches don't seem to get the same recognition or chances at that. And what do you feel like is important for you guys as a defense to see someone like him getting that opportunity? And does it make you play, like you said, with a little bit more pride or urgency maybe to prove something about a defensive head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like defensive coaches should get more respect. I mean, yeah, it is a lot more offensive head coaches in the league, around the league. But yeah, it can show that defensive coaches can definitely, step in and make some changes, make some progress, and which he has done. He's done a phenomenal job. And yeah, it makes you play as far as defensive wise. He's our DC for the past 3 years, and so now he's our head coach. Like I said, nothing changed with him, but definitely seeing him as a head coach definitely makes us want to, go out there and play for him, and makes us, even stronger.
And so many of you guys on the defense, and specifically DBs, have grown up in this league with him as the guy for you. And how important has that been? How have you seen that shape the way you guys have matured and played in this league, getting to have him the entire time and implement his system and the ways that he wants it played? How has that influenced you guys?
A lot. I mean, a lot of guys. I mean, some teams have, coaches that come in and out. It's great to have him for as long as I've been in the league. So definitely, especially with his system, it's great to have, him the whole time because his defense is tough. As far as like kept picking up on things, he's always throwing some other stuff in every week, so you got to be on top of things. But yeah, it's definitely definitely good and definitely know what he expects and definitely what he knows what his players can do, knows what kind of plays that he likes to run. So definitely it's good to have him for the past 4 years we've been here.
And it's one thing to have a defensive coach, it's another to have a coach who played your position.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he expects more of safeties because of that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah, he's probably the hardest on safeties for sure because that's what he played. And, no matter what we do, if we not on just the slightest little bit of thing on top of things, he's going to let us know. So he definitely coaches the hardest.
What are the biggest things that he tends to say to you guys as safeties, or the things he wants you to be working on, improving? What are kind of those big messages that he continues to harp on?
Probably more communicating. That's his biggest pet peeve is like communicating. He wants the safeties to, run the show back there, communicating, like I said, communicating to, everybody on the field and, gotta have everybody on top of the same page. Definitely pretty much communicating and just let everybody know what we have to do. Get everybody lined up. So definitely say communicating.
And tell us about this new role that Antoine is playing this year and what it's been like to watch him make that transition and just overall what that's done for you guys as a safety room, as a defense, that you do have so many guys that can play multiple positions and frees guys like you up to have bigger contributions as well. So take us through that move for him, what that's meant for him, for you, and the defense overall.
Yeah, it's great for him. I mean, he can. He's a ball player, so he can play pretty much anywhere on defense. Him stepping in a nickel, creates a lot of versatility. He can blitz, he can cover man to man. He can play in the zone. Deep, short. He can do a lot of things. So. Like you said, it frees other people up. Me and Logan playing safety while he playing nickel. We know it's like we got 3 safeties on the field, but it's like we all do the same thing. So definitely kind of mess the offense up a little bit because you don't really know who's in what spot or whatever. So I feel like he's doing a phenomenal job stepping in. He played a little nickel last year, just a little bit, but. Actually, him taking on the full-time role in nickel, I feel like he's doing a great job at it, and he's only gonna get better at it, and just keep making plays.
How does that work for you guys as well, of safeties, DB, like in corners, the whole group of you? How that works in practice, in meeting rooms, when it is such an interchangeable thing in some ways, and how much you guys have to be working together, that some other position groups, of course, everyone kind of has to be on the same page, but they might be a little bit more isolated doing their own thing. It feels like you guys all have to be more like one giant position than as separate of, this is the corners, this is the safeties.
Yeah. Because, we got to work together because certain calls, it's built in for, corners and safeties got to be on the same page to do everything. So, especially, coverage is the big part because, you could have different stunts in a run game or whatever, but at the end of the day, you can't have anything over your head. You got, safety is the last line of the defense. So definitely, you gotta, we come together as a, whole secondary, especially on like Fridays and things like that, Fridays and Saturdays, and just watch film together. And you definitely gotta have that as a secondary, have a close group of players in the secondary. So I feel like that's a big part, communicating and having a tight bond together as far as both groups. And I feel like we pretty much not split. It's not really like corner and safety. It's kind of like just DBs. So I feel like that's where we got to come together and just trusting each other.
Another guy in your position room, Keanu Neal, we saw him just get rock a hit on special teams, and he was
oh my God,
he was fired up. That was a heck of a shot that he delivered. What's it been like adding him to the roster and what he can bring?
Oh, he's a player. He's a player. That's how you play football. Like him, like how he plays. I feel like he just tears whoever in front of him. He just tears their heads off. And that punt rep, he just destroyed that dude on the sideline. And then I feel like they did the same thing. Had to go back out there and punt again. He did. It was the same on the same sideline, I think dude just went out of bounds or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, no, thank you. I'm good. Once is sufficient.
Yeah. But yeah, Keanu, he just brings, he brings experience too. He's been in the league for, about 6+ years. And he brings experience, brings a lot of things to us. He can do a lot of things, be in the box. He can blitz pretty well. He loves to hit. I used to watch him in college all the time in Florida, and I just see him just rock people. So, it's good having him on our side.
Who would you say is the biggest hitter on the team in any position?
Biggest hitter?
Yeah.
Probably gotta say Keanu.
Ooh.
Yeah, he loves to hit. I probably gotta say him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense when he's played both safety and linebacker. This is the dude that knows how to deliver one.
Yeah.
We talked about you and several of the DBs getting to grow up in Bowles' scheme, but overall, I mean, it's amazing how many guys specifically from your draft class are still here contributing. How much has that influenced what you guys have been able to do on this team? That I know you guys were all incredibly close as well, and to just have so many guys that came in together be such big parts of this team as quickly as you were. I mean, to be huge parts of the Super Bowl run. Why do you think your class has been that group and done things that is not a given to have that many guys contributing from one draft class?
Oh, we had the best draft class.
But you're not biased or anything.
We have a very good draft class. Started from the first, D. White. He's a phenomenal player, to Chucky, to Melvin, to me.
People are like, who?
Sean Murphy-Bunting.
There we go.
Jamel Dean.
Yes.
And then me, got Scotty, Nelly. I mean, we got a lot of players that just come in and work. We got a lot of playmakers. Like you said, that Super Bowl run, we did our thing. And I feel like we getting it better and better, learn defense. And then, with Scotty just doing his thing, did a great job that Super Bowl run. But yeah, I feel like our class just, we're a close group from top to bottom, just a close group. And I feel like we just try to make plays. That's how we try to do. We feel like that's why they brought us here, is to make plays. No matter if we, rookie year to now, I feel like we just out there trying to make plays and help our team win.
And you mentioned Devin. He already, through the first couple games this year, had as many sacks as he had all of last season. And it just feels like he's been playing at the level that he expects maybe more and that Bowles would probably expect more of. What has seemed to work well for him already this year, or what feels different? What have you seen from him either at practice or in games that seems like we're getting a next level Devin White?
Yeah, I just feel like he's more locked in, more hungry. I feel like he just want to make every play. I mean, that's what you want out of a defensive player, just wants to make every play. When everybody's just hungry out there, trying to make a play, that's what you're supposed to have. And I feel like Devin is the prime example of that. I mean, he's just real hungry. He want to make every tackle. He want to just I feel like he's using a great job using his hands, getting off blocks, getting the sacks. The skies are pretty well, hitting the gaps, work on his pass coverage. And he's just all over the field. I mean, as you can see, for the past 4 years he's been here, he's been, run sideline to sideline. Him and Vontae just complement each other very well. I had to work with him a lot, as far as like playing strong safety in the box. And communication is very well. We always on the same page. And, it's just a great group of linebackers, and it's just great working with them.
And we're talking to safety Mike Edwards. Carlton Davis, you mentioned earlier that he's willing to just throw his body anywhere, do anything. Having him as your main outside guy, what does that do for this defense and what he brings, not just from even an X's and O's standpoint, but like you said, the energy, the vibe, because you're starting outside corner, it feels like in this league can be quite a tone setter. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, for sure. CD is just like it's just great having him because he's gonna come in every week, every game, and just try to erase the number one receiver. And it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of great receivers out there, not a lot of great number ones, even some great number twos out there. So for him to step up for that challenge and guard the number one receiver week in and week out, and just holding it down for us, you could play a lot of more things. A lot of more defenses that you can run, just knowing that you can have that number one corner locking up the number one receiver. So he's doing a phenomenal job at that. Like you said, his tackling is very well. Communication is on point, and just learning the defense. He's learning the defense really well, and kind of see his like he can pick up on a few things like, hey, watch this coming, whatever. So doing a great job, and I just feel like he's just a phenomenal lockdown corner.
And how about for you guys as a defense facing a guy like Leonard Fournette in practice as much as you have? What did that help you guys with, and what has made him have, those first couple games, first game in particular, but man, the guy already was putting up a lot of stats. He was being asked to do a lot, carrying a lot of the burden of the offense early in this season. So tell us about Lenny, what you've seen from him, and then also what that's meant to you guys as a defense going against him.
Yeah, we don't have to tackle him maybe about once a year. We always have like one live tackling period, but it's. And
you're happy about that, it sounds like.
Let you know I give it to him, but
easy for you to say when you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Both of you can say that you'd give it to the other one, and just neither one ever has to get proven wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I feel sorry for the other people on the other team because he runs like a maniac, man. It's like after I seen him run over a boy Tyron from New Orleans, I was like, man, he just runs over everybody. Like he don't try to make no moves or nothing.
Yeah.
Like most people like get in open space, try to make a move or something.
Nope.
Man,
Freight train Lenny.
Yeah, he going straight for your chin. And it's a great thing to have, have running back because he got speed, he got acceleration, he can, put a move on somebody, but his greatest thing, find the hole and get into the open field and, just running people over, things like that. So I think he's doing a great job putting the offense on his back and, carrying that workload, which we need. We got to have a running game to open up the passing game. So I feel like he's doing a great job of that.
All right, we have one more segment coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owls Nest with safety Mike Edwards, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owls Nest. I am here with safety Mike Edwards. Right before the break, you mentioned when Leonard Fournette ran over Tyrann Mathieu, which is funny because that was always the comparison of who you were compared to, partially because of the hair, or was it the comparison happened and so then you made the hair like it? What's the order here?
Man, it happens back in high school. The hair, I had this hair since high school, but I kind of, for the most part, looked up to him. In college, he's a phenomenal college player, and then I started getting nickname Badger. People started calling me Badger. He's a Honey Badger, but kind of, don't want to go, follow that trend with, because he's his own player. I'm my own player, but I always thought he was a great player. But what Lenny did to him, it was, they both went to LSU, so they got some bad blood, but it's all love, I know. But I feel like they both some great players. They both great players. We got the best of them that play.
And for you, I feel like the one thing about a Honey Badger comparison that seems right is the idea of maybe an on versus off the field personality for you. Explain the difference in Mike Edwards here in the building, walking around the hallways, versus Mike Edwards on the field.
Yeah, I told you, I'm kind of like a chill person off the field.
You're always smiling. You're always happy.
Yeah, I'm always, you can't tell if I'm mad or not for the most part, or like sad or feeling down. I always try to keep that positive energy, like you said, I'm always, uplifted, trying to smile a lot and things like that. But on the field it's kind of different. I've always been like that since, grade school, so I was playing Little League. Just a different person. It's just crazy because it's like off the field, you just like this one type person, then the next, you're on the field, it's like you're a completely different player. So I feel like on the field, kind of just locked in and, always, just focus on the offense, focus on what I have to do and just trying to tear somebody's head off and trying to make a play, trying to, things like that. It's completely different.
That's so crazy. So now we're talking to safety Mike Edwards. We are coming in against the Chiefs, a team that, there's some history, there's some familiarity there, which is interesting when it's an NFC, AFC team to have this much, where you've played them this many times in a pretty short span and for some rather important games.
Right.
So tell me now, this particular game, what is going to be similar and different for you guys approaching it as compared to the previous matchups for them? What are the biggest things that you're focusing on with this Bucs team and this Chiefs team?
We know they have a talented offense. You lost one of the greatest, not the greatest, but lost one of their best players in Tyreek Hill. It's a big part of the offense, but they also made some moves in the offseason. Got some good receivers they picked up on. They still got Patrick Mahomes. He's a phenomenal quarterback.
So when you're preparing for a guy like Patrick Mahomes, kind of like what we talked about earlier, I know you love to read tendencies, look at things. What is the most challenging thing about preparing for him now that you have done it a few times?
Yeah, he can throw the ball over the field. He can, like I said, just like Aaron Rodgers, he can throw the ball 100 yards and just make some crazy throws. No look passes, sidearm, across the body. And he just does a lot of things. I mean, he's a very skillful quarterback. So you gotta, can't take that many chances against him. But definitely feel like, he's human too. So he definitely made some plays against him, which he did in the Super Bowl. We made some pretty good plays against him in the Super Bowl. So, but we know it's gonna be a different game. We got some different players on our team, got different players on their team. So, like I said, both teams going off losses, so both teams feel like you got to bounce back and get that win. So
when you're watching film of I'm sure you always watch the most recent game against the other team, but is it more or less helpful if they're coming off a loss? Is it good to see what worked, or is it better to see them maybe at their best in a win to then know what to prepare for? How does that change for you the effectiveness of getting to watch that film?
Maybe I would say more so if the other defense is kind of making plays against them, because if they not, it's just like they just running whatever on the offense, just like they just running and run up the score. But if you see them like making stops, great stops, you can see like what they did what they did to limit the plays, or what they did to make those plays. So definitely I would probably say when the defense is making plays against the offense.
So for you, what do you think is going to be the key for you guys on defense? If you were to pick one or two things that if we do this, then I think we will come away, at least on defense, doing what we need to do for this game, what would that be against them?
Probably say three things. Probably one, is stopping the run for sure. They got a great quarterback and great receiving core, great tight end. But definitely, first and foremost, got to stop the run. Second, we got to get after Patrick Mahomes. We got to, rush the passer. Can't let him sit back there in the pocket, and then we also got to keep him in the pocket. Because when he get out the pocket, he could extend plays, and that's where he's great at extending plays and throwing the ball deep down the field. And then the last is probably, take care of their explosive plays. They like to throw the ball down the field. So safeties and, corners, we got to not let the ball go over our heads and keep everything in front of us and just swarm up and tackle. And got to have all 11 guys to the ball for sure.
All right, well, that is going to do it for us here. Mike, thank you so much for joining us after, I know, a long, very hot day at the game yesterday. So you get some brownie points. Thank you for spending the time with us, and good luck this next week.
All right, thank you.
And thanks to all of you guys for tuning in here on Buccaneers Total Access from the Hooters Owl's Nest, brought to you by Frontier and Hooters. This is Buccaneers Radio.